Appeals session, and it's sponsored by IQ Tax Appeals. Now, in a little bit, I have to give you a little bit of a commercial because that's supposed to pay for all of this. But right now, let's talk about, first of all, my name. My name is Rudy Segovia. I'm a non-attorney property tax consultant. I work with IQ Tax Appeals. And this session, we hope will benefit you. But if you have a special situation, special circumstances to your properties, you may have to contact a lawyer, okay? So make sure to always, when there's questions, ask for legal advice. But we're going to cover most of it today. Tax appeal. Our mission is to help homeowners save money by reducing their property taxes. Does everybody like the sound of that? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the question is, are you happy with the taxes that you're paying?
No.
So do you believe that you're paying too much for your property tax? And you know what? You're right. Why? Because in the United States, Illinois and Wisconsin are the highest taxed counties. That's why you know you're paying a lot of your taxes. Come on, busy with this one. And also our mayor in Chicago, he wants to raise property taxes, even though property values have fallen. And this is a big struggle, and they try it every time you get reassessed, they try and get them up a little bit for us. Now, here's the problem. The property values went down, but the property tax remained the same, and in some cases, it went up. Today, 60% of properties are overassessed. 60%. But only 4% of homeowners ever appeal. Huh. Now, I want to show you a few of the appeals that IQ Tax Appeals has held. And here's some of the examples. And in this, these are 2014 appeals. This building, 2-flat, saved $4,000 per year times 3 years is $13,000. This home, $22,000. This home, $12,000. Now, all of you are going to get that slip back that you filled out with, your estimated savings. But if you were to get lucky enough to have, let's not say $22,000. Let's just say $5,000. Could you do something with your $5,000? Would you find use for it? Of course. And whether it's a vehicle, vacations, remodeling, you will find use because it's your money. Now, we're not saying not to pay taxes. We should all pay. We live in the greatest country in the world. We should pay our fair share. And that's what we're talking about here, okay? Now, here's a couple of more from 2013. And it didn't matter the type of home that you own. If it's a 2-flat or 3-flat, it can go up to 6. 6 units is still, we still help you. After that, it becomes a commercial property. But here's some of the savings that people saw. Like here's only $2,700, $3,900 a year. So now, the owners, if we have a legal right to appeal, why is it that we don't? What do you think? We don't know. That's number one. Don't know how. Okay. What else? Come on. Why haven't you appealed? Excuse me?
Doesn't do any good.
Doesn't do any good. Sometimes there is no results. You pay a lawyer, he gets the thing, and then you don't hear from him, and then before you know it, oh, you're fine. Yeah, but I already paid you some money. We have heard in this, because this is the 5th one that we do, that some people have paid as much as $500 for the application with the lawyer. Okay? I'm not putting lawyers down. They have a lot of work. It's their time, and let me show you why it's going to be the difference in a minute. Also, it's a complicated process. If you try to do it yourself, you can't do it yourself. But you have to go through a lot of paperwork and be very careful and also have the right comparables so that you have a better chance of reducing your taxes. It's too expensive to hire a lawyer, tax consultant, because you got to pay them up front. And there's other factors, time, unexpected things. And that's why people say, well, I'll do it later. And what happens when I say I do it later? It doesn't get done. Right? Okay, so today we're going to show you quickly, because otherwise we have to be here the whole day, how you can go into the website and do your own if that's what you wanted to do. And for the start, how to understand your bill, how to get senior discounts and all the different exemptions, and different things. Now, your property tax, and I know most of you know this, but we're going to go through it anyway. You pay your property tax in 2 installments. The first installment is 55% of the previous year, so you're paying last year's, and then the second installment is the balance. The Cook County Assessor's Office takes the market value of your property, they divide it by 10 to come up with an assessed value. Then they multiply the assessed value by an equalization factor to determine your equalized assessed value. Then they subtract any exemptions that you have, providing that you applied for them. They don't give them to you automatically. You turn 65, they don't automatically say, oh, here's a person that has an exemption. No, you have to do it, you have to do it. Or have somebody else do it for you. So if you did that and you filed for it, then they deduct that, and the remainder multiplied by the tax rate, and that's what determines your tax, your property tax. So an example would be, this home, fair market value is $200,000, divided by 10 is $20,000. The equalization factor times is 2.8, so it comes to $56,000. You take exemptions out of it. If that's what you have, then that's the balance. Then they multiply it by the tax rate, which is here, and they come up with your total. And then you have 2 installments. That's how to understand how they're doing. So right away you can see, again, your fair market value of your home. You should know, wait a minute, my house was $400,000 5 years ago, but right now everybody's selling for $200, $250. So you're way over. So we're going to help you today. Now, another problem is the forms that you have to fill out. Yes, there's in the beginning there's two or three forms that you can fill out. That's not going to do much for you. To do a complete and an appeal, you need to fill out and sign the residential property tax appeal. Now, you got to take advantage of all the exemptions that you're entitled to. How many forms do you think you need to fill out in total? If you're going to look for all your exemptions that are available, what do you think? Throw a number at me. How many forms?
That's it.
20?
One. That's it.
Okay. All right, 1.
There's only
1 and 20. Well, actually, it's 21. If you want to go and look for all the exemptions that you can get. Now, with this document, you'll have to send supporting documents to tell them how you came to those figures. Just to write out 1 page and say, oh, I'm entitled to that. Now they have to do the research for you, which they're not going to do a thorough job. Okay, they're going to try and help you, but they're not going to do a thorough job. So what happens? You can either go to the assessor's office yourself and start the process, or you can go online, and it's cookcountyassessor.com, and he'll show you download and start filling out paperwork. You can do it this way. And here's the first one you need to fill out. Again, everything's just filling out the paperwork. But right in this section, you're going to include the 3 comparable properties to yours. And here's where the problem starts. Because there's people that go to their township, and they're nice. They help you, except that they're not going to research everything that's in the area. They might look at 10, 15, 20 properties maybe, and then say, you know what, you're right in line with these people, and you're fine. But there's a lot more properties that can be checked. And that's the difference between them and us. Us is done through the internet, through the computer. It's all done, again, fast, and it's more complete. So then you start filling out your paperwork. You have to, again, these are self-explanatory. We're not going to go individually through every question, but you fill them out. Some of these forms you have to notarize, sign and notarize. And then you get the exemption applications. You got the senior freeze. You got to fill those forms out. Again, I'm not going to go through each one, but these are the forms that you need to fill out. Okay? And then, if you miss your township's opening, every township has got 30 days to appeal. And yours is going to end on Monday, on the 28th, July 28th. Okay? So you have, let's say you missed it. Well, then you have to go to the board of review, which is fine, you can do it, but you need more forms. And then you need 5 more appeal forms besides what you already have. So 5 more, and these are it. You have to, for the board of review, again, you're now not as the assessor, you're at the board of review. You have to fill out this paperwork, and you fill out these papers, again, and then you send them to the assessor's office. Okay, that's what is involved. But where most people have a problem here is the instructions. There is one of the booklets for instructions is 331 pages long. And it gets a little confusing, and then we're not sure, and then nobody likes to make mistakes. So we put it out, we're gonna ask somebody, before you know it, the time is passed. I'll do it next year. Now, in the Cook County, and by the way, we're only serving Cook County right now with residential. We also have commercial properties, and those are in every county, and that could be, again, anytime, but that's right now, we're talking about residential is only Cook County. And everybody has a 30-day window to do their appeals. And these are some of the websites that you can look at our website, and we give free information. People can look and say, okay, what do we need to do? But you have to do your own research by going through the different types of websites. Now we can ask you questions. And Michael, I'm going to have Michael come up here and assist me. Michael, you come up here and assist me. Hey, Mike. Oh, there he is. Back there. I'm looking. There's a person seated down here. I can't see the head of brick, so I think it was you. I'm sorry. Hello. Michael, this part of the presentation, we know that your township is going to close on Monday. So there's questions that you need to ask. This is the time to ask.
Yes, any type of technical questions I'll be able to answer to you.
Yeah, who assesses the value of your property?
Assesses.
Go to the mic.
Who is he?
Who is he?
Yeah, shoemaker, whatever. Then decided what to do, with my property tax.
Michael, you want to put your mic on?
We're going to have a microphone because he's a soft-spoken man, which is nice. I like
He's soft-spoken, but he has good answers for you.
Okay, well, he's going to put the mic and he's going to answer the question first, and then we come back to you.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me now? Okay. First of all, the value of the properties are set by the assessor. Assessor is reviewing the values, and they are corrected later on through the different factors created by the state. But the first person who is assessing property is the assessor's office.
Do they come out and look at the property?
No. For the past 25 years, when the computerization came on board, they don't do individual reassessing. What they do right now, they do blanket increases or blanket assessing, which means that they estimate they took the property values as they were 25 years ago, and they increased them, all of them by 10%, or all of them decreased by 7%. That's how it's today. You can always do the appeal if you not agree with the assessor's information. Those are public information accessible through the assessor website. And you can check the footprint of the property, you can check detail of the description property, and you can, it's not what I have. My house is bigger, my house is smaller, the picture is not the picture that I can get, it's not mine. There's all type of errors and mistakes, but in general, assessor is responsible for it. Did I answer your question?
I got a question for you. I couldn't understand.
You better all without the microphone then.
So without the microphone, better? Okay.
Maybe we'll have you. Let's see. Michael, maybe we'll have you maybe up here. You're back to us. There we go.
Okay. So what's the next question?
I filed for a tax exemption. Has this got anything to do with that?
With the exemptions, appealing property assessed value appealing, doesn't have anything in common with the exemptions. It's a completely separate process.
Well, according to them, when I filed for it, because I am over 66, they said, well, you're appealing your taxes. And I said, yeah. Because I heard about once you're a senior citizen, you file for that tax exemption, but yet you sent me this notice or whatever about this tax appeal. I'm confused.
Okay. Let me explain it this way. The assessed value of the property, or market value, which is 10 times more than assessed value. In the Cook County, assessed value is 10% of the market value. That's how the assessors see your property. Assessed value is based for calculating the taxes. Okay. Once they set this base, they multiply this by factor by the local tax rate, and they calculate your taxes. Then they divide it by all type of exemptions you may have. As you know, in the Cook County, there is $7,000 for homeowners exemptions, $4,000 for senior citizen exemptions, and after this multiplication, they come up with the dollar amount of your property taxes. When you are appealing the assessed value, the only thing that you should be considering is senior freeze, okay? Because this is something given by the assessor. This amount is usually $200-300. Could be smaller, but I never saw bigger than $300. And this is like additional exemptions. What does it mean? The senior freeze means that you froze your assessed value, let's say, at this level. And anytime assessed value goes up, your taxes are freeze at this point. The only fluctuation is when state is changing the state rate and the county is changing their local tax rates. Okay. The rest of it, it's assessed value, which is the base for calculating taxes, remains the same. Okay. So when you do when the senior citizen having the senior citizen freeze is appealing taxes, should check first whether it's worth it or not. Okay, because we can, with the higher success we had was more than 35% decreasing an assessed value. Okay, which in such a case, it's really worth it to give up senior freeze, do the appeal, and appeal for a senior freeze again next year. Okay, because your property will not be freezed at this moment. It's going to be freezed at this moment. Okay, and then you will enjoy a lot more saving for the next years. But as I said, we do in this case when somebody already has senior freeze, we do the calculations separately. We just don't go, and just we don't encourage people to just go and appeal. We analyze if it makes sense. But with everybody else, there are certain requirements that you have to do in order to qualify for a senior freeze. So that's the other story. Many senior citizens, they cannot have senior freeze. Okay? There is certain limitations also.
So what, do you give us a form where you mail out to that Cook County Assessor office?
Yes, we can get the form. We already have your PIN number, and in case you decide to test your PIN number, we'll be more than happy to help you with this.
Is there a charge for this?
No. We're just going to give you the full analysis, if it's worth it to do it or not. If you will have, in the long run, if you will have any profits out of it, or it's just going to stay the same. Because in some cases, from our experience, we were able to lower assessed value, but at the same time, the client lost his senior freeze for 1 year, and that's the decision to be made. Okay. But the next year, you can reappeal and you can freeze your property on a much lower level, and then take advantage of the next.
Now, this is something that I can mail in, and I don't have to go on some stupid computer?
Yes.
Because I don't own a dumb computer.
Yes, sir. That is correct.
With the stupid computers.
For some God-given reason, everybody seems to think that everybody owns a computer.
Right.
And if that were the case, everybody would own a Rolls Royce. I'm sorry, it just don't happen.
Before we lose that thought,
Yes.
did everybody understand about the senior freeze? Was that? Okay. What is that? And the senior freeze, if you were assessed years ago here, because some people are being told, you have a senior freeze, you cannot appeal your taxes. Well, what happens is, yes, you can appeal it, but you're going to lose the senior freeze, and then in January, you have to reapply for it. Now, the cost I talked with Agnes is $35 if you do it through us, but you can do it yourself online. You apply for the senior, unless you don't have a computer like the gentleman. Through the office, our lawyer is $35. But again, you will be reassessed lower, and now you can freeze that, and so there is a savings, but you have to look at the savings and see if it's worth it to you. Am I right?
The Cook County's assessor's office, we had some folks go down to the assessor's office, and they were told that once they had their senior freeze, they couldn't appeal it, so that's incorrect. That is not true.
Partially true.
So this means that the whole system is liars to lie to us
You ever known a government official to be
Okay,
honest?
that's another subject.
And another thing is,
That's another seminar.
Yeah, this young lady had a question.
right.
When they tell you they're going to put a cap on, is that the same as the senior freeze? Is that something different?
Cap yeah, cap it means that cap means that everything is frozen. Okay, and I mean assessed value is frozen.
And then
So
will raise their like every year?
they can, they're not going to raise it. Freeze means that it goes for the next 3 years, and even if there will be reassessing period, they're going to keep your value at the same level. But again, if you will lower it and reapply with the freeze, you're going to keep it on this level instead of on this level.
All right, you have to be under a certain or above a certain income, or lower than a certain income for that you can.
Yes, there is a limitation on it. 55.
Now, I was told once you do this, they will mail you that tax exemption thing in the mail. You don't need to call downtown, or in my
No.
particular case, I went over to Leiden
No,
Township.
you're not going to be younger. You qualified on the age, and 65 is progressing, 66, 67, and so on.
Another thing, we live in Franklin Park, not Chicago. Why some person from Chicago gonna determine how much money I have to pay for my taxes? Should be done at a local level.
It is done on a local level. It is done. Every township has an individual office, and the Franklin Park, which is Layton Township, also has individual office.
And if I can add, some of these townships are higher, right?
Yes, the tax rates are created locally. Okay, so the local governments, they understand how much budget they need, and they're reporting this to the properties. I mean, to the Cook County government, which is just located in Chicago. Okay, another part of the institution who is creating the property tax values are the government in Springfield, because they created the state tax rates. Yeah, so there is a few factors that they multiply assessed value to create the real tax value.
If I can add one thing for this gentleman. So in Chicago, the tax rate is 7? What is it?
6.93.
6.93 in Chicago. And some of the townships, what's the higher you've seen? Or
Over 30%. Yeah. But the Cook County is not the worst in Illinois. The worst is in Lake County. The Cook County average pays 1.58% average. Okay, there are some areas that paid a little bit more than 1%. Some areas that they pay even 3%. But in the Lake County, there is strategy. They pay average over 3%. Yeah, so in our cases, it's not so bad.
Nancy, you had a question? Nancy?
Yes. Okay. First of all, your senior freeze doesn't count 55,000. I've done 27,000, 28,000, 29,000. I'm 81. I've been doing this since I was 65. I've gone down to City Hall 5 different times. They tell me you're going to get it. This is the first time I received a freeze exemption paper, and they still don't give me a senior freeze. Never.
Well, I agree with this.
I'm in Elmwood Park. I don't know what difference that makes because it is Cook County Assessor's Office.
Yes. And, yeah, I agree. You have to be approved, and the application has to be made between January 1st
That's
and April
right.
15th.
And it's mailed in. This is a copy. I made copies of all my papers. You're right. It's over 20 different sheets of paper, and it's obnoxious, and I still don't get it, and that's that. I have no idea.
We can try to help you. That's
Yeah, I know. That's why.
I did hers. She's got it.
But I've gone to Cook County Assessor's Office 5 different times.
Too many politicians, that's all it is.
But did you appeal your taxes in the
Of
meantime?
course I did.
Too many chiefs in that little
Well,
appendix.
Well,
Fire
if
them off.
you appeal and you
Fire
ask for
them
a
off.
senior freeze,
So
then
you paid maybe
It's
$10.
zero. I never get a senior freeze. I'm
Okay.
81, no senior freeze at all.
Okay. Okay. Okay, we can, we check it out.
Yeah.
Somebody, Agnes is our processor. She will check everything for you and call you on Monday. Is this
Right.
okay? More questions? Maybe some technical questions. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. I know.
I've received 3 different things in the mail saying turn in, reduce your taxes, such and such. They all have been reasonable, like 1,600 to 2,000, but they've all been different. Why would that be?
Oh, there is many different reasons.
So different people can choose different properties to base it on? Is that what you're saying?
That's a first of all. Yeah, the system is some companies that
Do you want to give me that piece of paper back?
analyze.
I forgot to write down the zip code.
They use, for example,
I know I wrote down my phone number. Did you ask me what town?
Because they'll run it, because we use it in short.
Right, in case they decide to mail me something. Because I'm a good one not to answer the phone.
We do all 15 categories. By the way, there's 55 categories describing every property. So the more categories are compared, the more accurate information we receive. Okay, so this is the first. The second thing is that calculation. We do calculation based on today's information. Okay, what does it mean? If we have a tax rate for 2000, we're still using tax rate for 2012. Okay, because the assessor will release the new tax rate in approximately a month. Usually it's half of our for 2013. So what we do when we found the 3 comparable properties or more, we are recalculating them.
60131.
We don't know what we have the next year. Okay? So the next year we can have, let's say the tax rate will go less. Let's say it will be much higher. But yeah, we use absolutely how it is. We don't do any marketing in the calculation. Some companies may give you a little bit higher savings because they put it at a level bigger, so more savings. But we don't. We just go as a system, we plug the best properties, the best comparables, and that's what we multiply by today's value. If anything changes next year, then the real value is going to be off.
Housing values starting to go up. It's a good idea to get reassessing right away.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Now, second question.
And do it every year. And do it every year. Yeah, Rudy will show you why you're supposed to appeal every year. Because actually this meeting is about understanding how the property tax works and why not to wait on the reassessment day. Why to appeal every year, constantly every year. Okay? And that's why we create a system that our client doesn't have any risk. Okay? There is no risk that you will lose your money. Okay? And Rudy will talk about it.
I visited an attorney yesterday, and we talked about this. And he said that, yeah, you guys are probably saving me a lot of money over what you can do it for. Just make sure it's a legitimate company that you can trust. He says there's companies out there doing this that you wouldn't want to do that.
Of course, you always have to be careful with that.
So I need to know from you how long you've been in business.
I'm gonna go through that.
Well, it's not even that. It's not even that. We have affiliated program. We working with many different tax attorneys offices preparing the appeals for them, which they sell for a lot more than we do. The thing is that the system is also have a very, very unique value. Okay? Versus, like you mentioned attorney, and you showed me your tax bill, and you said, well, can you do anything for me? Without the tool, the assessor cannot, the attorney cannot tell you, yes, I can, or, and how much, or, we're not going to practice.
I understand there's computer software.
In the software, in our case, the software will tell you, don't do it. Yeah. In our case, the software, because every attorney I work with, they had an accident when they prepared the appeal, and actually assessor after reviewing says, wait a minute, this property is not, unfortunately, under assessed, and they increase that assessed value. In our case, there is no such case. It's not possible because we will show you, we will run through several P numbers for you. So you will see some of the properties we will be able to do everything, some of them we're not going to even let you pay us. That's very important because we are completely free of this type of mistakes. When our client is completely disappointed because actually his taxes were down. And we will show you this is unique system which immediately shows you your savings. You don't have to fill out and it's absolutely free. This type of analysis is free, accessible 24 hours a day.
Maybe another question?
I've got the senior freeze.
Okay.
Now, if you put that on 1 year, then the next year you don't get, is that because for the freeze spaces?
There can be at least 3 reasons. Okay? One of the reasons is that they will send you another application, or you're supposed to ask them for another application. If you don't ask for another application, it means maybe you don't, you know that you're not going to qualify for a senior. Yes. Okay, we had through the seminar, I think in our provider, there was a couple that they, like 2 years ago, they had an income level on $32,000, and they sold some investments, and suddenly the income coming from dividends jumped them out to the $80,000, and they automatically disqualified.
So that changes every year.
It could be. So that's why you're supposed to either call us or call assessor and say, listen, send me the form because I will approve you that I'm still under 55.
Now, we were advised to go to the township.
You can go to the local township, yes. They should have. Yes. And please ask them, if you will decide to go to local government, they also have, there is a new program for senior citizens, it's called Sunset Exemptions. Sunset Exemptions is a new program. It's a combination of the homeowners exemptions together with the senior exemptions. It's a great program, giving the people more advantage. Yeah. Sunset Exemptions.
Sunset, one step before you keep the bucket, huh?
If I decided to appeal my taxes to Europe, and you did, and my taxes went down to $1,000, how much I'm going to owe you?
I'm going to cover that in a minute. Yes.
That's Rudy's job. I'm just going to concentrate on the technical questions.
Great question. I'm going to cover it. Okay.
In your experience, we have 2 lots that we paid for, and the house goes across both. Do you find that there's an advantage to have it as 1 lot, or just keep it as 2? I was always wondering that, and I asked, and they said it's really not an advantage to combine the lots. So we pay these 2 separate. It's extra. It's confusing, and when we've refinanced or something, they missed it one time, and they just got one of the lots, and we weren't paying taxes on everything, But anyway, I was just wondering, in your experience, does that come into play?
Well, assessed value, when you will go on the assessor website, assessed value is divided anyway. Divided for a land value and land value and improvement value. Mm-hmm. Land value is a land value, improvement value is a value of the replacement cost of the house. Okay, that's what it's called. So when you will combine the two numbers, they're just going to combine the land value and the improvement value, and here will be 1 billion. Okay. For appealing reasons, I think it will be easier if you will have a 1 P number, because your property is a very great example. There is a quite few properties in the 2 counties when the one house is sitting on the both lots, but there is 2 P numbers. Such a properties, we call these properties, they have a note. Okay? Note means that we cannot use the method of lack of uniformity. Okay? Because this is not standard property. 1 house sitting on 2 lots is not standard. Okay? Okay? So this way we have to do a little manual work and look for the same situations in your area, which is not quite possible. And we have to find that they pay lower taxes, and the house has to be merged with the 15 parameters. Yeah, so if you plan to live in this house for a longer, for the next 10 years, in example, it may be worth it to think about, create a monthly number for one house, and then for our job it will be much easier.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Now, in the first part of the meeting session, we just inform people how to do their own property tax. It's just complicated, a lot of forms. And now we're going to show you, we're almost done, very quickly. Well, here's some of our happy customers. And look at it, they look so happy. But here is, first of all, our Facebook page. And if you go on there, it's IQ Tax Appeal. You'll see about over 1,000 properties, or 1,500. And with the actual addresses, because it's freedom of information, and the people that we have helped. As far as credibility, you can see there's actual people that we are helping. Now, some of the houses that we have helped, you know what, back there, Michael, Jerry, and I found you, Michael.
Excuse me, there is.
Jerry,
Yes.
so you have them sit so they can, this is the important part of how it works. It's going to be 5 minutes, and you're going to see everything we do, and it'll be better understood by seeing this. Okay? Thank you. There's some of the houses that we helped in 2013. Some have saved 4,000, 12,000, 20,000. They've seen the savings, and I'm going to show you why compared to a lawyer in a minute. Here's more. It doesn't matter what type of house you have, and if it's an apartment building, it can go up to 6 flat or less. 2 to 6 flat is fine. After that, it's a commercial property. And it doesn't matter your size, your design of your home. So the question I asked you earlier was, are you happy with the taxes that you're paying, or do you believe that you're paying too much? And one more question would be, would you like to see you qualify for an appeal even before you spend one single penny, which is something lawyers cannot do. You go to a lawyer, you see the papers, well, yeah, but let me see what I can do for you. It's kind of a way of telling you until he starts checking, which is going to cost him time and money, and that's where he charges you. With us, we have a software that will do it for you in less than a minute, and there's no charge for it. It's a free report. And the papers that you filled out, we're going to give back to you in a minute, and that's what we have here. So the company is founded by 2 real estate investors, a CPA, and a network of tax professionals. It's a whole group of people, over 8 years experience in doing tax appeals. The office is, and you'll see it on the papers, is 7155 West Belmont. The physical office is there for all the people who are working there. 7155 West Belmont. And they took over 2 years to develop a software to make this job a lot simpler, more effective, more complete. And the difference is the processing software. First of all, it's easy. The software instantly compares, they steer properties that are comparable to yours to determine if you're overassessed and give you an estimate of what your savings will be. Now, some of you are going to see a savings that'll say, $3,000. Okay. That means that that's what you should be saving. It's up to the assessor's office when they get the application to say, yeah, they're right, but let's give them 1,000. They can do that. They can give you less. That's why next year you got to do it again so you get the rest of the money. Okay? And also, it's fast within a minute. And when we use lack of uniformity, and as Michael was saying, when you go into a township, yeah, they want to help you. They're nice people, but they're only going to look at a couple of characteristics to compare them. And a lawyer may use 5 or 6 characteristics. We use 15 immediately, but there's actually 55 to help you compare to other properties to, again, give you the best value. Now, with our software, first of all, it's easy because once you say, yeah, let's do business together, it'll come out on the computer, we print it, we sign it, we mail it. Everything is filled out for you. Everything. When you do it, here's your name, your own information is filled out. The 3 comparable properties are already there. Everything's there for you. We actually have 7 pages that we're going to give you. What else are we going to give you? The 3 comparable properties to yours immediately with pictures. So now you get Back there, can I have you back there? Whatever you're doing back there? Yeah, Sherry? I can compete. The system will give you 3 compatible properties where you can already see that they're like yours. It's got all the numbers. It gives you the calculations. How did you come to this numbers? It's something that a lawyer will have to do physically, and it's time consuming. And it gives you the, again, how all these numbers were calculated. You hardly see the red, but how they were calculated. So it's a complete file. I mean, everything's done for you. Just get a, I'm sorry. Everything's done for you. So what happens when the assessor gets this paperwork, he looks, okay, here's John Smith, yeah, there's 3 rooms, there's the calculator. It all makes sense. It's done for them. They don't have to do research. They can verify what's there, obviously, but it's all done for them. That's why you have a better chance of getting a successful appeal through us than when you do it through somebody else. And by the way, any lawyer that you work with, you can go into the assessor's office.com and you can look at the lawyer's name and you can look at, you know, how many appeals he's done and how many have been successful. You'll be surprised at some of those numbers. That's really doing your research. And that's what we do. And now, single family homes up to 6 units. Right now it's only Cook County, but we are planning the rest of the counties in the near future, hopefully. Okay. Now, we also have a 100% money-back guarantee. Now, we don't guarantee the appeal is going to be successful, but we guarantee that if it doesn't go through, if it's denied, you get your money back. But this is what we do. We do 3 appeals. We do the first with the assessors, which is your deadline is Monday, the 28th. We do it. We do with the assessors first. The second is the board of review. Say the assessor's office says, for whatever reason, no, we're not going to accept this one. Then we do the board of review for you. The same for the same cost. And if that gets turned down, we do the property tax appeal board, and that requires a lawyer. Again, at no additional cost. We do all 3 appeals for you to get you the best results. Okay. And if it still doesn't work, you get your money back. Now, again, commercial and industrial properties, we have lawyers to do this. If any of you own it and want to talk to us separately, we can. But I'm not going to go through this. So here's what we do. We go into our website and we log in as a guest. You know, just want to find out the information. The tax reduction is the password. You click on your property and it'll show you. We're going to do one right here in a minute to show you how big this is. Now, when the software came out, we were at a 56% success rate, which is way better when you check those attorneys than most attorneys. Okay, 56%. Last year was 71%. Today we're at almost 83%. Successful appeal. Why? Because of the paperwork. So confused. And we're not comparing just the 3 properties. We're comparing thousands of properties with all the different characteristics. And this is some of the characteristics that we do. The land, the building, the tax code, the neighbors, the property classification, the description, the interior, the type, the garage, the age, and things that we compare, things like that. Okay. Now, as you know, your properties get assessed every 3 years. So you will see a savings of 1 year or 2 or maybe even 3 if you just assess. If you only have 1 year, it means that next year you're going to get reassessed. And this is why we need to do this every year. The Cook County Assessor's Office, every 3 years, they try and get your tax a little bit higher. Okay? If you appeal every 3 years, you may stay in line with them. You know, they try to get you up, you come down. They try again, you appeal. You come. Every 3 years you're appealing, and every 3 years you can bring it to where it's supposed to be. But if you do it every year, then this is what's going to happen. It'll get lower. They try to bring it up, but you can still come lower. And so it is to your advantage to do this on a yearly basis because you stay ahead of the game. And the savings are going to be there. So the question is this. There are some people that just let the government do whatever they want. You know, well, that's what they give me, I'll just pay it. And that's the people that are up here. There's some of us that appeal every 3 years. And we stay even, you know, we don't get a raise. But there's people that save money by doing it on a yearly basis. And that's why it's a good idea to do it every year, like I was saying. Now, I know you wonder how much it's going to cost. Okay. Let's compare it to a lawyer. With most lawyers, you're going to go in and they're going to charge you $50 to $100 for the application. It's not refundable. Now, we heard people in 2 seminars already that paid $500 for a lawyer. Okay, so they're going to pay that. And then secondly, whatever they save you, they're going to keep from 33% to 50%. But we look at it as a plus. Well, he saved me $2,000. He's going to keep $1,000. So what? I got $1,000 in my favor. It's your money. But that's what they charge you. And I'm not saying they're unfair. It just takes them a lot of work to get this done for you. So let's say, with this example, they save you $1,300. This lawyer is going to charge you $50 for the application and the savings of 33% of your savings. So he came out charging you $1,300 and $1,337 for the savings. And it could be as much as $2,000. Depends. I'm going with the low figures here. Okay. So now we have several options for you. Several. 3. Okay. Number 1, you can pay us nothing up front. Because some people do worry about scams. Some people do worry, what if they take my money and never hear from these people? If you're that cautious, that's fine. It's going to cost nothing up front. But we're going to keep 30% of your first year savings, 20 of your second, and 10 of your third. So in the same scenario, where we save $1,300 for you for 3 years, with us it would cost you $780, which is half of what the lawyer is charging you. Now, I personally would not go with this option. Again, this is an option where you're worried about, wait a minute, what if this is not a legit company? Okay, let us do the work for you, prove that we are, and pay us a bigger chunk when we do it for you. Okay. Number 2 is this option. You pay $179, okay? And depending on the savings, so if we save you $800 to $1,000, it costs you just the $179. But if we save you $1,000 to $2,000, it's $249. $2,000 to $4,000, which is the example with the lawyer, it would cost you $299. $299 and they want $1,300. That's a $1,000 difference. That's a huge, huge savings. And if it's over $4,000, it's going to cost you $250. Still $1,000 less than the lawyers, and we're saving you all this money. A lawyer would have kept, 33% of this. Again, you're looking at $1,300, $1,200. And now, why is it that we can go with this price so low? So that's really, how can you do it? Because the software does everything. We don't have any man hours looking at, we don't have any man hours trying to find the information for you and doing this manually, and then you're subject to errors from humans. This is not by the computer. This is the software that's the greatest tool ever. Some lawyers are using the same software now. They still charge whatever they charge, but they're using the software to do a more efficient job. Now we have a special for you. No, you know what? I have a special, and then I'm going to show you one more option, which I think is the best option. The special is this. If you take today's promotion, okay, is that it'll only cost you $149.95 regardless of your savings. That's it. $149 for the possible 3 appeals. If the first one's not successful, with the second one, or we do the third one if we have to. But it'll be $149 regardless of your savings, and you will need to fill out the form right now. It'll take 5 minutes per person. That's all it takes because it's fast. And you can do it. Now the condition now, because it's so late, is that it's got to be done during this seminar. Before we're letting you go home and then give you some time to do it, we have another 2 seminars coming and we're just getting really busy. So if you see the value and you say, yeah, I need to do it, because it's a money back guarantee, it's going to be $149 today. And we've got 5 people that are going to be helping you do this. But now here is what's the best plan. Okay? And this is what we have, where you can do it every year. We have 2 packages where you can do this every year. And the packages go like this. It's a flat fee, and it's $6.99 for 3 years, $7.99, and $100 more for 4, and $100 more for 5. But what happens is that every single year, even if you don't remember, we will do it for you. And that's to keep even going lower than you are. Now, with this package, what we'll do, anybody who signs up with this package, we're going to give you a tablet. And these tablets, they're going to be open, so don't think they're used. We're going to download the websites that you need to keep track of your appeals. Okay? And so this is, it's a good value, but it doesn't matter which package you choose. We will throw in this tablet for everybody. And once we have the agreement.
Yeah. The change the prices for 149? We get regular prices.
See, if you said that screen, see that screen over there? It's charging people by the amount of savings that they have. But we're going to change the screen to only charge $149 right now. So yeah, please, Michael. So if you can see, it's $149 no matter what your savings are. So you're saving $150 to $300. $200 up to $200 additionally, because we're only going to charge $149 for doing it, and we have 5 people here that are going to help you. So if the persons that say, this yearly thing sounds like a great idea, we have an agreement, a 3-year agreement, 4 or 5 years, and we'll throw in a tablet that's going to be pre-programmed for you to make your follow-ups a lot easier. Okay, and again, with your money back guarantee, can't go wrong. And that's pretty much it. That's what I have. So again, the first question is, how can you charge so little? The computer does it. And by the way, let me show you a quick example, Mark. Just 1 second. Mark? Could you, on that screen, run one property, just to show everybody as a group how fast this is? Okay. Do we have a property?
Sure. Jen, can you give me one so we can run it, or Don?
Just one that it's already been run, but we'll run it again. Just give us one that has been one that has
yeah.
Okay, this is what you do. So we go into the you would log in as a guest. The password is reduction. That paper that we just gave you, the instructions are there. You log in.
You want to explain that again, the paper we just gave them?
The paper we gave you, as a matter of fact, I have it up here. It looks like this. Okay? The first step is to go to the website. The second step is to say properties, lower your property. You click here. Then this window will appear, like what he has right there. And there in this window you put tax and reduction and click, and then it gets you to this last window, which is right here. And you're going to click on properties, like he is right here, property. And when you click that, then here goes the number, your street number, or you're going to use a PIN. Okay, if you have a PIN, you can put the PIN number. But if you don't have it, right in here you can put the street number, 124 Main Street, Elmhurst. And those are the 3 things you need to fill out, or the PIN number if you have it. And you click search, and you see the property already popped up. I don't know, what did that take, 3 seconds? And right now it's comparing. Right now it's comparing, so it's still.
Where's Mark? Where's Mark over here?
Okay. It's comparing. And this is all public information, so don't feel like I'm looking at somebody else's. I think anybody can look at pretty much anybody. They're validating, and boom, 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 there it is. He is $4,400 for 2 years, which means $2,200 a year you're overpaying. And that's what we can go after that savings for you. $4,000 for
almost $4,500.
Well, almost $4,500. It's going to cost you $149. Is that? I don't know. That's why I love doing it. I was retired until I came back to work because I thought it was such a cool thing to help people save a ton of money. Not like a few dollars, yeah, but we charge you $100. So this is what, did you see how fast that was? Okay, so if you were to say, yes, I want to do this, then you would click here and then proceed with the application. All it's going to ask is for your email, your telephone number, and the 149 obviously with the credit card. And that's it. It goes into the assessor's office. You'll get confirmation that the appeal is in, and we're done. And you're done. It's that fast. You're done.
Rudy, should we run one more just to show them again?
Okay, I think he's got an exciting one to show. I know your tricks. This is cool because we're actually, the reason that you're here, by the way, is because you were pre-selected that pretty much 99% of you do qualify because you're over-assessed. Otherwise, you would not have gotten the postcard or the phone call. And right now, a lot of people are getting postcards from different companies, different lawyers, but they don't have the software. And they're going to charge you a lot more. And that can do a complete job like we're doing with the characteristics that we compare properties. And that's why you'll be ahead of the game. And we have
That Turco that sends you the postcards usually,
Oh, yeah.
they have an F rating on it.
F rating, is that good or bad? That's not good. And he's the most popular one. Now, I was, you know, I haven't verified that information, and I'm not telling you that, but this gentleman is doing his homework. He's talked to lawyers, he's checking, which is what we should all do. But he checked that lawyer, and he's got an F rating. And you can check him yourself on the assessor's office too. As long as you know his name, you can find out how successful he is. And again, I'm not putting lawyers down. They try their best, but they just don't do the work as efficient as the software does. Machinery are taking over. And the Terminator's going to come and kill all of them in about 50 years.
Where's Lawrence?
Okay, who did we run now?
Lawrence, we ran Lawrence.
Lawrence, right here is another one with 2,800 in savings. Thought you were going to show me a $20,000 one. Never mind. Okay. But yeah, again, 2,800 in savings, 2 years, for $149. So that's where we're at. That's what we do. And I hope you take advantage of this. We have 5 people helping you. If you want to go individually to see them, we already have most of your papers, so we can tell you. Did we get back to them, or did we, no, they haven't yet, right?
They haven't accepted the 2 that we have there.
I would like you now to please go retrieve your analyze it, look at it, and if you want, you gotta do this today. If you want to have the next savings, 149. If you don't care that we go as high as 350, then you can do it at home on the website. We'll give you the link to the website.
Merrick is here in front. We got Peter running it, Diane.
We have 5 stations running. So
Virginia, Rick will be running it. Yes. So, you know, yes, you can take it and make sure we run it to the office. So just have Mary. She'll take care of it.
Jerry.
Yes.
He doesn't have an email. What did he print this form? You have a printer here?
Put it in the record.
A quick announcement. A quick announcement. Let me get up here. Quick announcement. My fault. We're gonna do this for you, and if we don't save you at least $299, we don't charge you. If the same as 100, that's all right. It's 100. You're not gonna be charged for this. So you have to save at least $299 for us to charge you. Otherwise, you don't charge. Let's tell you. So let me ask Michael.
I'm not excited, but I want to do it at home, so
you can go online, follow these instructions,
and then you guys will be correct.
Because what happens in the system, at midnight, it changes. So if you go on there and you do that when you're wrong, they walk you through the process, the application, select information, then you can print out all your because the most important thing to remember is that if we don't save you anything on the appeal, we charge you nothing. And I think that's fair. Thank you for coming today. Yes.
Right, just give this to I gotta go check with
yes, or she can log on. She can also log on. Okay. No.
Okay, that's what my question is. So I need to write all this stuff.
Yeah, just so we can follow up with her. Yes, you can call up. No, because you're here at the seminar, if you call that number, let's say it's tomorrow Sunday, unfortunately, but let's say you call Monday, you're at the seminar.